back to the Jack Homestead. It's me and the ladies. They follow me everywhere. I just wanted to do a quick video to show you guys what my garden looks like before cleanup and getting ready for the 2023 growing season. And I brought out my map of what I'm planting this year, and I'll let you know what I'm planting new and show you the raw version of my garden right now. Just to let you know, in the winter time we open up the garden to the ladies, and they come in and they scratch up all of my beds, they fertilize it, and we let them have a good time in here, but they do ruin a lot of stuff that we need to repair come spring before we plant our seeds. But I'm going to start down the far end, and then I'll work my way over to the new part of the garden that we developed. My babies have friends today. And they're all talking. Found a mud hole. I'm going to start down here. If you follow the Jack Homestead on YouTube, you will know this is our asparagus bed. It is covered up with fencing so that the chickens cannot get in there and dig it up my asparagus, because they are perennials, and it takes... She's yelling because she wants to be with me. She is a mama's girl. Fajita, come around and come with mama. You gotta go around. She can't figure out how to get in here. Come on. I'll never be able to film without getting her in here. Come on, Fajita, follow mommy. She's our special chicken. Come on, Fajita. Hi, Popcorn. Oh, let me show her how to get in here. Fajita, come on. You want to come with mommy? Come on, girlfriend. Come on. I know the ducks hear mommy too. Come on, girlfriend. Oh my goodness, chickens. Okay, so down here is our asparagus bed. They are perennials. They will come up on their own. All we did was cover them with straw. We should be able to harvest some this year. It's been 3 years, so excited for that. We usually grow mushrooms along the back here, like see where Ginger is. All back here where it's shaded, we grow mushrooms, and we had a phenomenal year last year with our mushrooms, so we're going to do that again. This bed here has been many things, and you all have talked or heard me talk about what a pain in the neck this bed is. I have tried many things in this bed, and some things I've been successful. Fajita, mommy's right here. Oh my goodness, she's not gonna let me film. Hey, we're right here, honey. So I will show you, we have some garlic coming up. I don't know if it'll survive. I'm hoping it does. But this is going to be my garlic, and it's also going to be where my leeks are going to go. I haven't tried leeks in this bed, but we're going to attempt to do leeks in the bed with the garlic. I will be starting the leeks in the house. Now, this bed here, as you can see, it's a hole because of the chickens, but that's okay. This bed right here, this is where my kale usually is. This year, it is going to be my cabbage bed. You are supposed to rotate your crops and not grow the same things in them year after year. And I've been growing kale in this bed for quite a long time. So I am going to switch over and use this as my cabbage bed. Last year was my first year that I grew cabbage successfully, and was so excited. So I'm really looking forward to cabbage this year. Now, this little bed here, Mr. Jack had built me a bench, and then there's another bed on the other side. They're both square beds. I usually would put carrots in there. I'm changing it up, and this year, this is where the kale is going to go. I have 2 different types of kale. I have a dinosaur kale that I don't normally grow. I have in the past, but I'm going to do that again this year. And then my regular kale that I grow in that bed. Now, right next to it, this little tiny bed here is where I usually grow my hot peppers, but I have exciting news. I am going to have a full bed of hot peppers this year, because my #1 goal for the garden this year is to make my own hot sauce. So in this little tiny bed right here, I'm going to grow Swiss chard, which I have never grown before. And directly across from that, this bed, which is a mess, this is where my green beans are going to go. This used to be my bed where I kept my peas. I had a trellis in here. We took the trellis out. My peas are going to be moved someplace else, and I'll show you. But this is going to be where I'm going to grow my green beans. Or I'm sorry, this is not my green bean bed. This is where my carrots and my celery, and I'm going to grow pole beans in here, probably pinto beans. Are all going to go in this bed right here. I've never been successful with celery, and it's my first year growing pole beans. I have several different pole beans I'm growing, but hopefully I am successful this year with celery. And my carrots, I'm sure, will do fine. I usually do pretty good with my carrots, but I never grow enough. So I'm hoping this bed will produce a lot of carrots for me. Plus, I'm planting carrots in other places. Now, this bed here, which is directly where you walk into my garden, I do green beans here every year, and I am going to do green beans again. I know that I should probably switch it to a different bed, so we will see. I'm undecided whether I'm going to move my green beans, but this is so far. Mr. Jack laughs all the time and says that I change my plans like a million times before I actually plant stuff. But this is right now where my green beans are going to go. If my green beans don't go here, this is where I'm going to grow maybe my smaller tomatoes, or my my yellow tomatoes or something like that. But this here is going to be my green beans. As you all know, I have a grapevine that grows on the trellis. That's still there. Just a bunch of mess here that has to be cleaned up, usually flowers in these pots. This bed right here, last year, I had yellow tomatoes and I had flowers and I had basil. Now you can kind of see there is a basil plant right there. The chickens are digging it up, so hopefully I can save that. But in this bed, like I said, if I don't grow green beans there, this is where the green beans will be. If I plant the green beans there, this is where the tomatoes will be again. So that's the plans for these two beds. Then behind me, which is caged in because I have another perennial in there, this is where my strawberries are. Now you can kind of see the leaves right there peeking through, but they are perennials, so this is my strawberry bed. My goal is to eventually have bigger strawberry patches, but I'm just getting started with my strawberries and learning. So this is where my strawberries are, and they're being protected by the fence so that the chickens don't get them. And then beside that, right here, this is where I'm going to probably grow eggplant. And then there's a couple of things, like I have 4 beds here. Mr. Jack just put in those 2 that are on the opposite side. These 2 small ones have been here. But between this bed here and these 4 beds here, I want to plant eggplant, Brussels sprouts, snow peas, probably some ground cherries, which some of those things are new, but I'm not quite certain what I'm going to grow in which one of these beds yet. But that's what's going to go in these beds. Across from here, this is going to be my broccoli bed. We do need to add more dirt to it. It looks like it's getting low. And Mr. Jack's going to come in here and help me with some of our beds are starting to fall apart because we basically just take recycled materials to make our beds. We don't want to put that kind of money out. And like some of it has railroad ties, which when they disintegrate will just become mulch. A lot of this stuff, some of it is just, you know, old wood and stuff like that. Whatever is not good will tear out, but and replace with other wood. But this is going to be my broccoli patch. Now this bed here, what did I have in this last year? This might have been my broccoli bed, but in this bed, or no, this is my pepper bed. In this bed, I'm going to be growing all hot peppers this year. Like I said, my goal is to have make my own hot sauce. So I have numerous different types of hot peppers that I'm going to grow in this bed. Some of those I will use for the hot sauce. Some of them I am going to dry so that I can make my own, like chili powder and cayenne pepper and stuff like that. But this is going to be the hot pepper bed. And then this bed next to it is going to be my butternut squash bed. Last year we didn't do so well with our butternut squash, and I think it didn't have enough room. So I'm dedicating this large bed to butternut squash. I love to grow butternut squash because that's what I like to make my pumpkin pies with. It's not as moist and hold enough, or it doesn't have a higher water content to it, but it tastes exactly like pumpkins. So that's going to be my butternut squash bed. I explained those beds. Over here are my blueberry bushes, and as you can see, they are fenced in. And we're going to do a third blueberry bush. Mr. Jack just brought this home for me. And I'm going to prepare soil in there so that we can have a third blueberry bush. We haven't had a lot of fruit on our blueberries. Last year was the most, and I was able to, Mr. Jack likes to snack on them, and I was able to make like 2 things with our blueberries, but we're hoping to produce more they don't really grow good in the ground here, I've tried, so we tried them in raised beds. So I know they're going to be smaller, but I don't eat blueberries, it's just Mr. Jack, so I think 3 bushes, we'll see what happens with them, and if we need to grow more, we'll keep adding more. But this trellis here, as you all know, this is where I have my Chinese noodle beans, the really long snake-like beans. I'm going to do the same again. They were very prolific. What we did learn, because it was the first time last year, was we like them fresh, but we do not like them canned. So I'm gonna have a lot of beans that we're gonna be eating fresh from here, and then probably give some away to people because I'm not going to can them. I didn't like the texture. This is a hot mess. That little square bed there that fell apart is where we grow sunflowers. We're going to do that again. Mr. Jack had made a trellis for them. It fell over and broke from the wind. He's going to repair that for me. But this short little bed right here, this is going to be where my dragon tongue beans are. They are awesome. They're almost like a wax bean, but they grow bush-like, and they're beautiful beans. I mean, just beautiful beans. So I'm gonna dedicate this whole bed here to dragon tongue beans, and they do can up nicely. And then this bed here, skinny long bed that this fell over in, I'm going to grow ground cherries in here. We've never grown ground cherries, and I have 2 different kinds. So I'm excited to try them, and supposedly they're very good to can with. So we're going to try that out in this bed. And then our bed back here is going to be dedicated to onions. And as you can see, I have 2 onions in the ground that they're still in there. I don't know how well they're going to be when they come up, but this whole bed is going to be onions. And we did okay, but this year I'm going to try something different. I usually use sets, and this year I'm going to use starts, so hopefully we'll be more successful. Now, this square area here, to where you see that cattle panel fencing, there's 3 beds here, but the chickens have made it one big bed. We will clean it up. But the first bed is where we grew our corn. We were very successful last year with, well, I shouldn't say very successful, but the most success that we've had with growing corn. But that's being moved to a larger area. So that is going to be my sweet potato bed. We've never grown sweet potatoes, so this is where the sweet potatoes are going to go. Directly next to that is where the regular potatoes are going to go, which is what we grew last year and we're very successful with. And then where you see that cattle panel, that there is where all my tomatoes were. This year we are moving that, and that is where all my peas are going to go, and I'm going to go grow carrots underneath of the peas all along that fence. Now also where the sweet potatoes are in this far end, in the center I'm going to put up cattle panel, and I'm going to grow more pole beans in with the sweet potatoes. And along the fencing back here I'm growing a new type of spinach. It's called Malabar spinach. It is a viney spinach, and it's supposed to last longer, but everybody talks about texture, so I don't know how well we're going to like the taste of it. But this is where we're going to grow it back here. I'm hoping this wind is not affecting the volume. It's very windy here today. I apologize. So that is the old part of my garden. Now this is the new part of my garden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 long rows here in my new part of the garden that Mr. Jack has built for me. And I have a lot of new exciting things going on here. So in that first row right there, that is going to be, we're going to put cattle panels up, and that's going to be my tomatoes. I have different types of varieties, and underneath of the tomatoes I will be growing all different types of basils with the tomatoes. And then this second bed here, this bed here is going to be my watermelon patch. Now, anybody that knows, we have grown watermelon in the past, but my chickens last year dug it all up because we had it around our deck, which was a bad idea. So it's going to be fenced in now, and this will be my watermelon patch. And then down at the very end, I'm going to attempt to grow an okra plant. I have never had okra before, but I'd like to try to grow it and try it and see if I like it. So we'll see what happens. Now, in between the second and the third row, all along here, I'm going to have two big trellises going from one to the other. And these trellises here, one is going to be for my cucumbers, and the other one is going to be for my Kokuzi squash. Kokuzi squash are super long gourds. They're really cool. You can eat them like a zucchini, but I don't plan on eating them. They are being grown to feed our pigs. They're very good food for pigs. So Kokuzi squash is going to be here, and cucumbers are going to be on these trellises that we're going to put in. Then this bed right here is going to be my sweet pepper bed. All here is going to be different types of sweet peppers. We eat a lot of peppers in our house. Not necessarily hot peppers, but sweet peppers. I like to cook with peppers. They're great for freezing. I always keep a huge gallon bag in my freezer of chopped up peppers ready to go. So this is going to be my sweet pepper bed. I'm going to grow chives in here also, and some yarrow. And then the next bed over, between that bed and this bed that I'm showing you now, are going to be trellises. And I'm going to grow cherry tomatoes on one trellis, and the other trellis is going to be loofah gourds. Anybody that know, I'm pretty sure most people know what a loofah is. That's a sponge that you bathe with, that you scrub yourself with. I'm going to grow loofah gourds for the first time, at least try to, and I'm going to make soap bars with the loofah to give out as gifts. So wish me luck on that. And then this bed here is going to be a bunch of different types of squash, summer squash. So I'm going to have zucchini, yellow squash, acorn squash, and patty pan squash all along here. All those types are bush types, so they're not going to vine out everywhere. I've never grown yellow squash or zucchini, so I'm excited about growing them this year. I have done patty pan and acorn squash, so that's not new to me. And then this last row here is going to be our corn. We are hoping that we're going to be successful with corn again this year. We have a lot more room over here, and last year we tried numerous different kinds, so this year we're just going to kind of stick to one type of corn and see if we do better. But that is my new garden. I'm going to walk you down here to show you. We're not done putting the fencing up. Fencing is expensive, so we're doing a little at a time. But this is going to be the entrance between that pole and this pole. We're going to put a gate here. This is wide enough so that we can bring our side-by-side in, so that we can bring in mulch and dirt and whatever else we need to bring in here. And this is just going to be a stone pathway out to the other entrance, which I will walk over there to show you. But this will all be stone. Now, on the other side of the stone path, drive path, Mr. Jack put in a frost freeze hydrant, I believe it's called, so that I have a water source in my garden. So this will be inside the garden, and that right there pole will be the end. So we're going to run fencing from that pole all along here to the other side. I will show you. And along this fence, I am going to grow raspberry bushes inside of the garden, all along the fencing. So all along here, This is going to be the stone path right here. And then all along here will be raspberry bushes. And then down here at this corner where this pole is, and then there's going to be another pole that'll probably be approximately here, on an angle, Mr. Jack is going to put another arch in for me, and that will be the entrance for me to go in. And then that right there is going to be cucamelons, and which are basically teeny tiny cucumbers that you can snack on. That's going to grow on the trellis right here. So you'll be able to walk outside. And then that, of course, is my pumpkin patch. We open it up in the wintertime for the chickens to go in there and dig it up and fertilize it. So that's where that's going to be. But this is the layout that I just explained to you about my garden. I know it looks a hot mess right now, but I'd like to show the before, and then we will show you as it progresses, and then compare last at the end of the year what it looks like, and you can see how far we've gotten. But this is our 2023 garden plans. It's still really cold out. It's middle of February, so we're not going to do anything yet. I am going to be starting some seeds inside in a couple of weeks, probably in another 2 weeks or so. Things that take a long time, like peppers and things like that, to grow. We'll get started inside, but for now, everything is resting. We have added compost and things, and we'll have to rake up all our beds, and we want to put mulch down in between the pathways so that we don't have to come in here and cut the grass and weed and everything else. So, but stay tuned, because we're excited for the new part of the garden this year and all the new things that we're growing.